Let's go, everyone. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the LA Poker Roundup. Sorry for keeping you on that last screen for a little while. We were actually waiting for Frank to show up because it's kind of a tradition. It seems like bad luck, you know. It's kind of like that one voice doing Pixar movies all the time. We gotta wait. It is January 28th, 2025, and this is episode 70. We've got a fun one for you today. We've got a bunch of results. We've got a lot of thoughts kind of brewing around because it's been a full month. It's our first full month into 2025, and we have a lot to reflect on. LAPC is in full swing, and we had one of those weekends in poker that make you reflect. So so we got plenty coming at you today. So welcome, Frank. Others will come on through. Let's get started. As always, I am your host, Ty Dauberton, and here with my co-host, Derek Kwan.
What is up, everyone?
And Derek is still almost recovered from the life-threatening illness that managed to keep him away from the XL Bounty and almost kept him away for another week.
Yeah, it's interesting because now I actually sound worse maybe than I did before, but I feel a lot better. So I think it's just a residual kind of congestion and sore
Right.
throat and stuff. But yeah,
Isn't that funny? You're getting better, and everyone would avoid you even more.
yeah, exactly.
All right. So, but first results we want to cover this week are a couple of familiar faces, a couple LA Blasters who are making big waves up in Sacramento and Thunder Valley. So first off, congratulations to ya boy Stu, Mr. Scott Stewart, getting his 7th ring up there
Boom.
at Thunder Valley. Not only 7th ring, but also his 8th ring. You know, why not? Why not? For the man who has everything, what can you get him? How about a sick freaking winner's photo? That looks like AI. It's so cool.
Yeah, he's really good at the pictures.
Yeah, that is awesome. And then he's got the freaking, like the ring in his mouth. It kind of looks like a cigar. And then it's like, oh, that's the ring. Like, holy cow.
Yeah,
But yeah, Scott coming off his, the dollar amounts are pretty insignificant compared to his WPT win. But, getting the rings, getting the
ring's a ring, man.
accolades, that's
Yeah,
got to feel good. It's got to feel good, especially after coming off a big win like that. Some people might think, oh, did I get. I don't think Scott has this problem, but some people might think, man, was it just getting lucky? But then to just rip off 2 wins like that, you got to be feeling. Scott's got to be feeling invincible right now. Way to go, man.
yeah, good job, buddy.
All right, and we're not done with the Thunder Valley poker. I have got to go up there. I mean, let's see, was it Kirk final tabled the main event in the last series? These guys killing it here. I think Sammy won the main event up there before. It's like LA players up in Thunder Valley. We apparently just slap. And continuing that
Yeah.
on, Andrew Ostapchenko, he got event number 12, the $3,250 high roller, and he took home 81 grand for winning that and his very
Wow.
first circuit ring. So
Nice score.
congratulations. Way to
Good
go,
job.
Andrew. I can't believe that's his first ring. He must just not play a lot of ring events. That's my thinking,
Yeah,
right?
I mean it's tough to play ring events when you're in LA.
Yeah, for sure. We get 2 shots at it now a year, which is great. But even
Yeah,
then, it's still hard if you got a job or a day thing going on.
right.
All right. So congrats to all those guys. So let's head back down here to LA. Let's check out the dailies over at the Gardens. So on the Wednesday bounty last week, had over 200 entries, total prize pool over $21,000. I remind you, that's a $130 buy-in event. I mean, this is good stuff. The final 4 chopped with 714 Poker, who is Oscar, with Oscar Aguilar taking home most of that with 3,000 plus bounties for first place in that chop. So way to go,
Nice.
Oscar. All right. Then on the Thursday, there was no chop, and Iman Vakili took home 4,860. Remember, this is a $130 tournament, guys. I mean, this is amazing for a daily. Love what the Gardens is doing.
AK.
Yep, and they just do so many of the little things right, foreshadowing for later. All right, so let's move on to their weekend events. So the Friday night event, and reminder, there's a Friday afternoon event now. That I think it's a bounty event is also on the books now, 11 o'clock for that. And then the Friday night event, though, remains the 20K guarantee. And it ended in a 9-way chop as Scott Reason was the chip leader during that chop. And he took home over $5 grand for his $250 buy-in on that daily. So way to go. It looks like, last week's he was just promoting. So this is fantastic. Way to go, Scott. It's a big week for Scots. All right. So The big series, of course, going on is the LAPC, though, and we have a lot of results to cover for you since then. Now, they've been doing a decent job over there getting coverage up on the blog, but let me tell you, the bike and the commerce, your blogs are so hard to navigate, so hard to search through. I just can't find anything once it's passed. It's more like it's a decent stream, but I cannot find things. So,
Yeah,
luckily,
it's like
Frank's got
a
us covered.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's better. I mean, when I kind of look at poker news, I guess it's sort of the same when they're just kind of scrolling past things, but at least their stuff is split into events, so you can just navigate to the event,
Yeah.
find the top post, which is going to be the result, right? But it's just a running blog, so I don't know if that's the right format for like poker tournaments.
Yeah. But, hopefully they will continue to evolve that. Before we get to the results, quick shout out. Thank you, Todd. He writes the LA Poker column in the Ante-Up magazine, and he mentioned a lot of the blasters we talked about before who did great at the WPT Championship. He went through, he tried to pick out pretty much everybody, but I hear he missed someone who was a little bit smarted by the omission, which is fine with me because Mr. Rick show up, late reg, everything, play once a month and beat me in the Player of the Year points by like 100. It's all right. Whatever. Fine. You do fine. But yeah, no, Todd, Mr. Rick Meshamil, I've never said his last name out loud. Meshamil. He would like you to recognize him on his next score. So, maybe in a couple years when he hits another one, you can put his name in there.
Oh, so many needles. If only Rick were here to defend himself.
He can come on. We'll have him on the show when he spikes the winner, when they don't hit that 9 on him or they don't hit that whatever. All
He's
right.
a great dude. He always just brings so
absolutely.
much like good energy to the table, but not just the table, but just like all the tables around him.
Yeah.
He's just a real good dude.
No, for sure. That's why I'm teasing him, of course. He's definitely a fun guy to play with. Definitely a really nice guy. Love to have him around. So, results. That's what we're all here for, right? Let's talk about results. And I have the wrong window. That's why I can't click anything. The event number 13, the 40-40, the big 40-40. So, yeah, I'm not sure what order Frank putting these in. We'll get them in whatever order he put them up in. But congratulations to Nicholas Grippo taking down first place, no chop. And he was one of the top stacks going into the day, but he defeated Philip Zangwell and took home over 100,000 and the Remington. So way to go. This is the best one yet. This tournament had what was the actual number? 130, or I'm sorry, like 1,300 entries roughly or something like that. I think there's like 120 people in day 2. Is that right?
I think they had like 650 almost, didn't they, for the prize pool?
Okay. Yeah. So total prize pool it was the biggest prize pool yet. So congratulations. Going through the results, we don't have all the names handy, but 4th place was Jared Greiner. Way to go, Jared. And
Nice.
yeah, we will get the rest of those names as they get released and as I can get them into the Player of the Year. All right. So more recently here, we have event number 21 was the 6 Max. I believe this was just yesterday or something. And congratulations to Sohail Khalili, a.k.a. Baby Bowser. He wins this thing for almost $9,000 in his first Remington. Another person off the list of best to not have one.
You shipped the 6 Max, huh? Nice.
Mm-hmm. So this was quite a nice final table. So other people cashing of note, Hamid Koram got 17th. Fausto got 15th. Mir Gaskari got 14th. Paul Wynn got 7th. That's going to give him another boost to his Player of the Year points, where he's nicely on top. They'll probably give him a little more lead. And Lam Wynn got 4th. So congratulations to all of those folks. Oh, and we have the final table. So 2nd place, Ben Hoy. 3rd place, Hamidreza Soleimani. Already said 4th was Lam Wynn. 5th, Samson Ikrox. 6th was Luis Reynoso. And we mentioned Paul there in 7th. So way to go, all of you. Just reading the chat there. So let's see here. Next result. What do we have? What do we got, Frank? So here is event number 18, the 400 no limit, the one day that was happening during that day 2. Had 122 entries, and the winner was Daniel Hasley, and he took down Ed Alicani. Old Ed, who we just mentioned and showed winning the Win Trophy in the Turbo last week. He almost got himself back-to-back week trophies, but had to go and settle for 2nd this place. So congratulations to Daniel for winning and getting that Remington. 3rd place, Paul Chowderson, Uncle Paul. I think that's a better nickname, Uncle Paul.
Uncle Paul.
Yeah. 4th place, Sefer Ibrahimi. 5th place, Alan Meyerson, adding to his lifetime cashes for sure. 6th place, Edgar Gabrielian. 7th place, Kamel Hamadi. 8th place, Ricardo Guzman. And 9th place, Cam Chan. Yeah, Cam Chan. So congratulations to that final table. We'll get back to you guys were playing in that as well. I skipped that day. And then event 17, the mixed game was the $500 horse, which drew a very large field, 71 entries, including, he's in the cash, he cashed, the bike tournament director, Mo, and I also saw as featured on the chips at the bike, Frank, how do you say his last name, Marinelli or something? I saw Frank in there too. Yep. And currently, we'll come back to that. So congratulations to Philip Wexler and David Agarwal, who ended up chopping. So they had an even chop for the cash, and they played it out for the Remington. So, and Philip was the one who walked away with the win and the Remington overall there. So way to go, those two, and everyone else in this final table. And they're calling out David Brookshire, making his 6th final table here. Pretty much every single mixed game event, he's at the final table. So 3rd place, Patrick Schultz. 4th place, Harry Danielin. 5th place, Alex Ferrari. That was 5th place, sorry. 6th place, Laura Dennison. 7th place, Mo Fatehpour. 8th place, Timothy Wong. 9th place, David Brookshire. And then 10th place, Alan Meyerson in there as well. So that's another cash for Alan. Man, he's really building those things up.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
Event 16 was someone he just happened to be, I guess, our 1,000th Instagram subscriber, Mr. Alan Lee. So congratulations. That was Mixed Omaha, and he doesn't say he chopped. So congratulations on the Remington and winning over 4,000 in this Omaha event. 2nd place, Christopher Carlson. 3rd place, Ramon Roshin, and 4th place, Ward Crane.
Yeah, just get a hoodie, win a tournament. That's how this works.
Yep. Please note, lucky hoodie. Especially right after you buy one, in fact. So maybe they're only lucky for a little while. You have to buy another one. I mean, you did final table with Jesse the weekend you whipped those things out, right?
I know. That's unbelievable.
There
was a lot of, between Kathy and everyone, just so many.
As soon as you got your hoodie, bam. And literally, this was the day Alan got his. So I'm just saying that it might be like, buy one, win, kind of throw it out, buy another one, win. Like, seems to be the pattern to me. I mean, that's what I think.
Yeah, we got some new merch in the store too, so maybe some of the other hoodies will bring you some good luck too.
Yeah, right. You just it doesn't have to be the same thing. You don't have to throw it out. You just get a new thing. Yeah. Not bad. I think someone should test that out for sure. All right. So I'm mentioning all these mixed games. It has drawn Mr. Alan Kessler. So if any of you wanted to meet the chainsaw, make sure you get down to Commerce while the mixed games are happening this week. He's down there. He is rebuying. He is blasting away just like the locals. So if you want to see Mr. Kessler, he's down there grinding in those mixed game streets. So
yeah, I can't wait to hear him start complaining about stuff.
Yeah, it'll give us something to talk about as well. So, you may notice we usually we got Mr. Frank Lim in like a final table or something, or you got us talking about coming into day 2 as a chip leader or something. But this time, not so much. It was a little bit of a rough weekend for us. And Coop, we do not report on the Hollywood Park 50Ks because they do not report. The only way we can report on those is if we have a man in the field feeding us results, because Hollywood Park has a policy where they do not release results. You have to beg and plead them to get the information if you want to submit your own results to Hendon. So I am not there very often, and Derek has never been there. He's still convinced that Hollywood Park is a fake casino.
Yeah,
and
it's a psyop. I've
honestly nenever seen Frank there either. I don't know. Frank maybe has never played it, so we don't really get a chance to do that much. Hey, Brandon, what's up? Let's go. So, yeah, as I was saying, it was a bit of a rough week for the Roundup crew. Derek, you've got the excuse. You were kind of sick. You were sick all weekend. You can kind of fall back on that. I don't really know what was up with me. I think I'm just going to chalk it up to variance. I bought into this 40-40. I bought in this thing 8 times, and I didn't even get close to cashing, man. I swear. I think, I can say probably 3 of the bullets I got very unlucky on my, very unlucky, and then 3 of the bullets, or 2 of them I lost flips, and then the other 2 were just like meh. So, it's not the worst, but definitely was not a good weekend. So I didn't get through, and then I took Sunday off because I had a whole bunch of just chores and stuff. Still unpacking. Still got stuff to do around here. So just
Yeah.
took the day chilling. It didn't go much better for you, right, Derek?
Yeah, I definitely was on the bad end of a lot of bad beats, and they're all just kind of mixing together, so I can't even remember which ones are happening where. Um, but definitely the most recent, like the six max, even the one that Sohail just won, 30 people left, lost a chip leading pot. If it wasn't a chip leading pot, it was like top three in chips. Ace King all in against Ace Queen. And then, but just kind of like roll back even like to that Sunday tournament, the one day. I actually got pretty deep and then just went a little bit like hard dead for a couple of orbits and then just lost sixes and the aces and like queen jack. So just a lot of stuff that I guess I couldn't help. But yeah, I think the three of us have been not doing great over the last like couple of weeks.
No. Look, Frank and I have been cashing these things. Okay, like last week I cashed. It wasn't like an exciting weekend, but like I think this week we kind of all got obliterated. I think,
Yeah.
to be honest. And of course, a week cannot go by without this picture being taken. Once again, we found ourselves at the same table. Now, to be fair, the other weeks it's a lot in my mind, a lot more uncanny. This week, I feel like it was a little bit more like the birthday problem with the number of different tables I was bouncing around to, and I don't know how many bullets you fired per time, but like, you know how with the birthday problem, you could just have like 25 kids in a class and you're like 50% to overlap.
Yep.
I feel
Yeah.
like if we each play at 6 or 7 different tables in the room in a day, we're like more likely than not to play together at some point. But
It's really crazy. And it's so funny because everyone's just like laughing about it now. Like Kara just walked by and he's just like, "Are you kidding
yeah,
me?"
yeah, it's not that funny, but
Yeah.
especially not funny for you because I really do like that weekend. You're the only person I'm doubling up on. Like it just
Yeah,
doesn't
and
even
you know
matter.
what? You know what's crazy? It's like it's gotten to the point where so here's the hand that happened is, a pretty good player, like raised in early position at ace queen off on the button, so I three bet. Ty says, because it's you, he goes all in. That's what he said. He literally said, because it's you, I'm gonna go all in.
Yeah.
The other guy snapped ships before I even like look up. I didn't even know like what
Yep.
had happened. And I'm just like, you are both all in. I'm like, well. And then in that moment, I was like, you know what? I just somehow sense like I'm not in bad shape here. Like I just feel like ace queen is not in bad shape. And I was like, you know what? Fucking Ty's just gonna like beat me out of this pot. So I just folded. You had king queen, he had jack, so I was actually in pretty good shape. You had one of my outs for the flip against jacks, then you flop trip kings.
Yeah.
Like the
That was
other guy was just
fantastic.
collateral damage. He
Yeah.
was just collateral damage because I
Hmm.
was in the hand. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
No, I appreciated that you were in that hand. There's no way I win that flip, and the proof is that was Saturday, and on Friday night, the flight when Frank and I went deep in our best shot to get through. I
Yeah.
lost that exact flip, exact situation, king queen suited versus jacks, and I lost that when there were, we were. Yeah, that was the closest. I think if I win that one, I'm definitely gonna make it to the soft bubble, if not get through. So like, if you had
Yeah.
just been there on Friday night and you had been the one with the jacks, I would have bagged it. I mean, that's
Yeah.
really all there is
Actually, no,
to
yeah,
it.
you said, and you did beat me on a flip. It was like a very mild early flip, jacks against ace king.
Yeah.
So just
Yep.
if
I
I
had
had to
my
kind
ace
of roll
king.
back,
Yep.
actually, I don't know when the last time I beat you in a pot, in a pot really
It's
was.
but like it is funny though because what that exact hand I literally was telling someone we were telling someone about that and like I said I usually have ace king and then like I think it was almost the next hand I had ace king and we got it in like it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
so close it was just goofy. I mean it's like you said, people laugh about it, it's funny, but yeah. But Frank, I gave you all those chips back, you did double me, and then but you tried to bluff into me and you should know better, I don't fold. And then I gave them all back to you when the deck teased me. I hit a draw, or I picked up a draw, blah, blah, blah.
I
Okay.
also have to give a shout out to Mike Ung. So Mike Ung, lifetime, I play with him a lot, and I actually kind of think that I've never beaten him in a flip
Oh,
or
yeah.
actually in an all in, like ever, like literally ever. And there was like some like really really bad ones at like final tables and stuff. And then yesterday we actually got it in at a six max. My ace king against his nines on the button. He like raised. I three bet. He shipped. I snapped. Um, or actually no, he four bet and then I shipped and then he basically just called it off. But I went runner runner for a wheel, and on the turn, I was like, Mike, I've never beaten you in an all-in before. Like that's literally what I said. And then he's like, well, now you beat me, and I didn't even see it. Like I didn't see the wheel. And then Mike actually told me he's been running like hell, like really, really badly. And I was like, wow, finally, like it's actually somebody's mojo is so bad that I was able to, kick you while you're down a little bit and win a couple of
Well,
flips.
you know what the problem has been. I don't know if you guys follow Mike on Instagram or wherever he's on social medias. I highly suggest it. He's a very funny guy, and he has all the jokes. But if any of you played at the Gardens last month, like during the Winter Series, there was a bunch of flyers in the parking lot, and I wish I still had a picture. I just tried to check his Instagram. There's flyers in the parking lot for someone who was going to read your fortune, read your lucky days, read your lucky times, and tell you when you should play and when you should gamble. So Mike went deep on that. He's got that guy's text. He's been sending him emails and texts and going deep with him to try and get his lucky times and basically trolling him. But obviously, this run bad is payback from the gods of luck or whoever the heck this guy. This is
He
clearly
shouldn't mess with it.
yeah, clearly he's messing with powers he doesn't understand, and this is obviously
Yeah.
the payback.
Now he's got the curse on him, man.
Yeah, that's got to be what's going on. So I only played the 40-40, and then I blasted a few off into the bounty later on, and that was about it. I think you've been trying to get your name off that. I mean, seriously, with Sohail getting one now, it's starting to get kind of silly. Who, if we're gonna make a list, we should do that. I think that should be our Twitter poll after this episode. Who is the best player in LA that doesn't have a Remington? And I mean, you're gonna have to be in there somewhere.
I actually really do wonder how many of the good players don't have one, because I feel like mostly everyone already has one.
Or 2 or 3, right? I mean, it's got it. You got it at this point.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just run bad at the tables for the LA Poker Roundup crew. Maybe this is part of why we got jinxed. Another awful thing that happened to us is we were not nominated for Best Podcast at the GPI Awards this year. I'm disappointed, guys. Where's our LA support? Where's our nominations, guys? We needed you to hit the pound the pavement for us.
Yeah, I think you guys can like write us in or something. Isn't that how it works? I think we can get written in.
Maybe,
I don't know, submitted.
I mean, I wasn't expecting anything last year. We just gotten going, but I don't know. It would have been nice. All right.
Yeah, I think it's tough just because of the the global reach that everyone else has.
Yeah.
We're just more of like the LA, but I feel like we're so well known at this point that we should.
But to be fair, I mean,
mention.
these guys have been doing it for many, 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 many,
That's
many
true.
years.
Very
so
true.
I'm not really.
We're
mad.
just on episode 70.
Yeah, I'm not really mad. I mean, the Poker News podcast is in the thousands. Thinking Poker. I was listening to that like. I feel like I've been listening to that for all the time I've been playing poker, or at least all the time I've been listening to podcasts and playing poker. I don't listen to all their episodes, but I know I've known about them. So these guys have been there forever. So, all right.
I wish there was like a Twitter meme account or something. I should be in the running for that.
Right. They have personality. They have internet personality. I mean, you want me to bring this up and get you even more upset? Let's see. So they have media content.
I probably won't get upset at this. I'm sure that list is probably stacked.
Oh, yeah. But it's on the other hand, it's like all the exact same people. So it really shouldn't be that hard to break in some year, because it's like, where are they? They have your best ex-Twitter personality, Barry Carter, Caitlin Kaminsky, Jamie Kerstetter, and Marley Sprague, right?
Yeah, that's tough.
It's tough, but to be fair, I mean, I don't think Caitlin and Marley post their content on Twitter, but I don't think they're like prolific tweeters, honestly. Not like prolific, like memers and witty tweeters. It's more like they create content and put it on there, and that's what that's what
I put up some bangers this week, by the way, so you guys should definitely be checking out my Twitter account.
Yeah, for sure. Right along with Mike, if you're not following Derek's Twitter and you're LA, like you definitely need to be there, because you will get it. You will understand. In fact, I've got you up because I was looking for something else. So let's see here. We got reusing that guy. If you know Derek, that's funny. Yeah. You can't post a random picture, expect people to understand it. Maybe. All right. So that was the other terrible thing that happened to us. We did not get nominated. I'm not going to cry about it any longer. Let's move on. Like I said, we're deep in the throes of, come back and a cat appears. It's magical, guys. We got a cat. What's the cat's name?
Susie.
Susie. All right,
You know,
Susie.
I would like her to bring her. I feel like she's a little bit lucky, so maybe we could try to get her
Just bring her to the
to the
tables.
poker table
People
on
bring their
time. Yeah.
dogs all the time, man. Although maybe Commerce
Yeah.
cracks down a little more than the bike does.
Yeah.
Um, we're deep in the throes. We're a month into the LAPC. We've had some thoughts, and people were talking on Twitter a couple weeks ago about a lot of honestly, it's a lot of what we talk about all the time already, and it's definitely worth a thought. We have some folks around here have been really had some strong opinions in this first month of LAPC, but let's just start with this. Tim F on Twitter put out this tweet. I don't know which room he was talking about at the time, but it really applies all over. I think he might have been talking about the Borgata, honestly. He's saying he just doesn't understand how some poker rooms continuously get things wrong, things that have zero to do with casino revenue, like the structures, the procedures. Just stop trying to be different and try being just correct for once. And you can copy and paste any well-run poker room, and it's okay. The game should be for the player, not the staff's ego to be different, right?
He could be talking about any poker room.
Yeah, seriously. And he mentions things here like, the structures are inconsistent. The blind structures are just bad. Why do we have this weird level that nobody else has anywhere? Play nine-handed, not eight. I mean, I like eight, but whatever. It should be advertised. It should be on purpose. If nine, this one's a big one. If 9 players are late regging, they should not be at a new table with each other. They're not balancing tables correctly. They don't keep players count updated near the bubble or the jumps. This is the short version, right? So I think as prolific LA players, we can relate to a lot of this. You may have, you might remember hearing a lot of these arguments or complaints from us, honestly. And I thought you had commented on this. Did you quote tweet this, Derek? I thought
I quote tweeted it, but I mostly just
okay.
repeated the same stuff.
Okay, yeah. And it really reminds me of when we had Maria Ho on. If you remember, when we asked her, like, what is it about these rooms? You've been to all these different rooms you play over. What is it that really makes them stand out to you, makes you want to go back? And she just really pointed out all these same things. Just like it's the small things. Be a well-run room. Get the details right, Nothing like fancy, nothing special. She didn't say like have massively huge guarantees to like do like wild gimmicks, do like the first to do this or that. It was just do all the small things right, Be on top of things, break tables correctly, this and that. So we've been, we will not pick on Commerce, but let's just talk in general a little bit about some of the things a lot of the rooms in LA have done and we've seen that are kind of like, they're just head scratchers, right? Like, and I got a list from Mr. Jeremy Mintz. I know he really wants to come on and just like unload, but I don't think he really does. I think he'd be sad if he wasn't allowed to like play at Commerce anymore or play it wherever he's upset about this week. I think he'd be a little bit sad. So we'll filter his grievances. But he sent a list of some stuff that was just really burning him up. Like, for instance, he brought up the 9 people in a row sitting at a table, and I experienced that twice this week, right?
Yeah.
Like, guys, estimate the number of people that are going to be in your thing better, or leave one seat open longer, or break, do at the worst / correct answer is like just pull someone off, take a couple people off the other tables, take some big blinds. That one has its problems, but it's still better than letting like us 9 people show up late and just get to the same table, right? Like that's
Right.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Just don't do that.
There's so many bad.
Yeah. Yep.
I think this is like the root of that tweet, right? Because there's so many things that are basics, but they're basics for a reason.
Right.
There's like all these reasons behind it around, like fairness and cheating and chip dumping and all this other kind of stuff, right?
Yep.
Also, just as you're coming in, you're just talking about some of the chip distribution differences that you have. So many reasons why, and people have solved it already. Right. So when we say just like kind of, we're not saying never innovate, don't constantly try to improve things, but there are some things where it does really feel like it's regressing because they're not thinking through what they're doing and they're just doing things. I don't want to say nonsensically. I'm sure there's like a reasoning for it, but it's just like without really thinking about what the trade-offs are. Like you end up blowing up all of this like stuff that was working, and then now you're just making it different.
Right. Yeah. And Coop 8 in the chat, he was there the other day and points out this was one of the times we ended up playing together. Last week we played together 4 times, 4 different tables. This was one of those. In the small one day, I go back to register and it's grab a seat card, right? And one of the floor literally told me, yeah, just pick whichever one you want, whichever table you want, pick whichever seat you want. And I'm looking at the cards at the table, and I said, what the hell are you doing? No, that's not how you do it. Shuffle them up and throw one at me. What are you doing? This is insane. You can't do that. There's literally 5 tables here. I can look, and I know every person here almost. That is awful. You can't do that. And it's like, those are the kind of small things. And I don't blame him. He's just trying to be nice. But like, look, we're playing for money, and no one is offended by doing things the right way. So like, these are just small things, and they add up a lot. Like if you did that, if I see you doing that to the other guys, especially some of the guys who do also know everybody, and I know will take a little more advantage, that's unacceptable, right? I mean, and then there's just stuff like and things that aren't even competitive wrong, but like things we've seen before, like having a schedule where you're cannibalizing your own entries. Like, why are you doing this? You're hurting the multi-day tournament. Why are you overlapping your flights? And other things we've been talking about with the structures is like, why are we playing with no antes for 4 levels and then suddenly starting at the next level with antes?
Yeah, that's
out
a
of
real
nowhere.
head scratcher because it's like such a cliff.
Yeah, exactly. You suddenly
right.
get 900 more chips you're putting in the middle than the previous guy, or 600 more chips than the previous guy. Like the last guy put in 400 and you're putting in 1,000. It's like, how does that jump make sense here if you're trying to what are you trying to do, right? And like you said, there's a reason. I can tell you almost exactly what the reason is, right? Because when you do some of these things right in the early goings of the tournament, if I open enough tables so that the next 9 people don't sit together and people are registering, especially if my registration is kind of slow because I have to run people through a anti-money laundering machine or something and have to wait a minute and a half between them, your tables are going to play short-handed for a while. And the people who show up early are going to sit there and they're going to complain, I'm playing 4-handed and there's an ante. This isn't great. And it's like, bro, you have 200 big blinds. Who cares if there's an ante? Just whatever, like take 10 seconds in action or something. Like, it's chill.
It feels like the decision makers are just like listening to the wrong people. I don't know who they're like really listening to, but like whatever feedback that you get from players, you have to kind of play it all the way through the second order and third order effects of what it is that you're about to do, because exactly like you're saying, yeah, maybe for the 2 minutes you have a short-handed table and somebody has to pay antes at 200 big blinds. It's not a big deal, and that person who's complaining about it doesn't understand. But the cliff is very, very bad when all of a sudden you kind of jump, and like there's a reason why nobody does that, right?
Yeah.
If you see nobody else doing something, there's probably a reason for it, and if you kind of can't figure it out, you should go and ask some questions.
Right.
And then like going back to what you said about the random selection of seats, like I'm just really shocked that any mildly experienced floor person doesn't know why that's bad. Like how at this point could you not know why that's bad? And then if you know why it's bad, you should actually never do it, because it's basically letting people pick which tables they go to, right? It's very, very bad.
And seat. I mean, they literally said, yeah, anyone you want, which like sounds really friendly, right? Like if it's we're all chummy, hey, everybody's friends. And I would still randomly pick, or I would say like, I haven't looked at the card, just give me the 7 seat, right? But like, all you have to do is say, who's the player I like sitting to the left of, because I get them every time because they fold too much or something. Oh, let me find that card. That's not fair. That's not fair at all.
And if you just came from a really tough table and then you see that table has a seat open, pick a different one, right? It's not good.
Yep. I mean, random is random. Like, we're poker players. There's random. There's variance. Make it random. And like the day 2 structures being bad. That is like sometimes it's a side effect of the day 1 structure giving into those players who want too many chips, who want to start too deep, who want to do et cetera, right? So these things are not exclusive to.
What was the bad day 2 structure complaint?
The first event. Remember, we started the opener. The day 2 started at like the regular time, and it was completely wrapped up, no chop before 8, like around 8 o'clock.
Oh right, yeah, there was like
that was the one where I came in as the chip leader, and I said, well, I went card dead for 2 hours, and I went from 100 big blinds to like 16.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not like you should be you should not be doubling the levels every 3 levels. Like the limit shouldn't be going double every 3 levels for the entirety of day 2. Like that's just way too fast.
Yeah, like poker players are going to always complain about something or the other, right?
Of course,
we get it. And then we're also not the ones that are there have to listen to every poker player going up and complaining to you, but you also need to know when somebody's complaining about something they don't really understand, or it's a little bit nonsensical, and you should almost immediately know what the consequences of you doing what they're asking is. And Yeah, definitely need to think some of these things through a little bit more.
Yeah. And then it's, I guess, light at the end of the tunnel. I have I have some friends on the East Coast that I guess former floors, might have done some tournament director work over there. He's considering moving out here, and he's pondering throwing his hat in the ring. I know that a lot of the locals have been scared off by the low salary for a what's essentially full time job, but I think he might be willing to come out for the experience and the other stuff. So I kind of have my fingers crossed that he gets in there. And if you guys know him, his name's Rich. He's a Maryland guy. I'll keep you posted if he starts getting in there and he accepts something. We'll let you know. We'll have him on because he's a poker player. He knows what these things mean. He knows how they impact the game. So it would be really, really great improvement to get somebody like that in there. Now, I told him, hey, I don't think it's really worth the money, but like it could be a stepping stone kind of thing, right? So that's kind of what we're hoping for at this point, is that somebody's willing to take it as a career builder, right? Because they are not getting any traction. I mean, this is officially 1 year without a tournament director over there. DJ left in the middle of the LAPC.
That's wild.
So you got an entire day, and to this what's his name, Jeff F's point, or Tim F. To Tim's point, we said this before as well. We're shocked that the structures, the payouts, the tournament structures themselves aren't just being cut and pasted from the successful ones they were running in, say, the circuit that came through or other things.
Right.
Like the ideas they've had there, and you see them work. Why change it? And I said this before, why do we have all these bounties? Why do you have an XL bounty? Why do you have an XXL bounty? Why do we have all of this other stuff? You can run, I think this was your quote tweet, right? You can run regular tournaments and just run like 5 of them 5 weeks in a row, and people will love it. I mean, this is what the Win does, right? I'm looking up at the Win schedule and the Venetian schedule, and they're just having for no limit hold'em, they're just having regular normal tournaments all series long.
If you ran a series if you just ran a series of the 40-40s, but with obviously a little bit of a better day two, that would be preferable than all these crazy bounties that are going on.
Yeah. Now I can't tell you what the day two of the 40-40 was since none of us made it, but the day two of the opener was terrible.
Oh, it was the opener.
Yeah, it was the opener that was terrible. None of us made the 40-40 day two, so we can't say. But yeah, if you just made a series of that, like honestly, the one that the bike started doing at the opener of their series, which I hope they keep doing, the Big Four, which I think they honestly copied a bit from when DJ ran the Big Four here, which is this 40-40 before. And keep running that in variations.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when you see somebody doing something successful, it's not like they came up with this, proprietary, insane, innovation. It's just a tournament with a specific buy-in and a specific structure, and it's just no limit hold'em, right? And if it looks like it was really popular, it worked, it did all the things you wanted to do, which was generate a lot of players, make it so that the structure wasn't too fast. When you got like later into the tournament, right? Payouts are good. Just copy it, and people are gonna love it. People are gonna show up for it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like people are just, to his point, don't try to be creative for the sake of it. Now, the good thing for the operators about big bounty events is that is the one kind of tournament that really incentivizes people to play more bullets even after they bag, right? But it's not good enough, really. I mean, and just to the point, everyone pretty much unanimously agrees that the Win is like the best place to play poker. They run the best events. They are like the everything's the smoothest there as far as like a single property goes, right? And then here's their schedule for the Win Millions, okay? So as you can see, No Limit Hold'em, they're just No Limit Hold'em events, and multi-day No Limit Hold'em events. And let's see, there's a seniors No Limit Hold'em event, and okay, more multi-day No Limit Hold'em events. And what do they have? They have varying price points. They have varying guarantees. And, more No Limit Hold'em events. And a bigger one. This entire series, the Win Millions Championship, all of their No Limit Hold'ems. Oh, here's an 8 max. That's the fanciest thing, the weirdest thing. Oh, so look, one thing, a progressive bounty here. They have a PKO, okay? So all of these events, and then there's a PKO, all right?
And one thing I'll point out as you're scrolling through is you can see how the buy-ins keep increasing as you go through the series. And, again, that's done for a reason, right? because a lot of the higher limit people aren't going to come out for some of the earlier ones. So they usually end up, just kind of stacking their events around the end. And then you just sort of surround, right, those bigger buy-in events with other stuff.
Yeah.
And, I feel like we're not, yeah.
Yeah. So this whole series, all the No Limit Hold'em events, I believe there's only one PKO. Everything else was just regular No Limit Hold'em tournament. And this is the best property to play tournaments at anywhere,
Yeah.
anywhere in America probably. So I mean, you don't have to try that hard, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
you do have to try, but like you don't have to try to be that creative, I guess, right?
Yeah.
There's a time and a place for it, and like 60% of your multi-day events in a series maybe isn't it. Maybe like 10% of your events, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah. So on that note, I'm actually well, before I move on, there are some really good things though that I do see, right? The one of the nice things that is happening and we do see here is that there are a lot of promos that kind of help bleed the cash games into the tournament streets. So that is
Mm.
one thing that Commerce does great is that they tend to run cash game promos, hours promos to get people into the tournament streets from
They do.
there. And the other thing they do is LAPC has been going on for like 28 years or something. So consistency, getting that product out there, or yeah, a lot of 25, a lot of years, getting the name out there and just keep showing up. So I mean, we commendable for that. It gets people know it's happening. People show up. So those things are great. It's just once people get there, if you do all these other things really right, they're gonna stay. They're gonna want to come back, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
an interesting idea that not a lot of people I guess it kind of goes against common wisdom, but it was getting a lot of traction on Twitter. Is this one? Jason Kuhn threw this tweet out there saying, "Hey guys, hear me out. What if we just had a too old for this shit poker tour and games started at 9 a.m. and we bagged closer to 5?
Yeah.
What about it?" And it actually got a lot of positive feedback. I mean, I am in, like Faraz says, "Heck yeah, let's get in there. Maybe 10 o'clock, but like heck yeah, let's start early." I mean, even Bet on Drew says like, "Let's go." Uh, there's so much positive feedback here. Even Dylan Wiseman's like, "You had me. It starts at 9 a.m." I don't understand. Like, here's the thing.
Well, yeah, good.
I was just gonna say, here's the thing. Even if you think that's really early, you probably don't mind registering a little late. I mean, I know
Yeah.
Rich said specifically he's only coming to tournaments once it's at like that 50 to 30 big blind range anyways. So like if you're that kind of a tournament player, if you're like a quote unquote pro who wants to maximize their hourly, you're not going to show up early anyways. So like you're still going to have to show up till 11. So who cares? Anyways,
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because all the tournaments that even start at 11, when you actually get there at 11, it's a lot of older folks, right? The older folks are going to show up and everyone starts to trail in around like 12 o'clock, 1
yeah,
o'clock. Um, so how that is going to work is that the older folks are going to come at 9 a.m. anyway because they're already up. And then if you just have late reg going until noon or 1 instead of 3, people are still going to make it. I don't think that's going to impact anything at all. And I think at this point, everyone wants to be done earlier. Like
absolutely.
everyone's like skip dinner break so I can go home and just have dinner with
Yeah,
my significant other, my family. Would love to finish tournaments around 8 or 9 on a day one, right? Um, so yeah, I think it's a fantastic idea.
yeah. And it would allow you to have the option of, for a rare, like one event per series, maybe you have that really low buy-in, huge guarantee, and you let that one run a little later in day
Yeah.
one, right? And then you can
And we
actually do that.
Yeah. And then we also keep stressing how much, we should be accommodating for working folks. Well, guess what? Most working folks are getting up at some ungodly hour on the weekdays to get to work,
Yeah,
right? And
and
probably take their kids to school before they get to work.
exactly
So on the weekends, it's just, maybe some of them like sleeping in a little bit, but to get up early for a poker tournament, it's kind
right.
of already in their, kind of sleep schedule,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
As one of those working folks, I loved sleeping in, but sleeping in for me is like I sleep. Now I get to sleep until 9:30. That's sleeping in. Like
Yeah.
I'm not going to stay in bed until
Right.
11:30 anymore. And those folks out there with kids, their kids aren't going to be sleeping in. If they wake up early, they're going to be waking you up early anyways. So if you got the day off to go play
Right.
poker, you're up. Like you had to get up, do the breakfast stuff. You're up and you're ready to go, and you do not want to be up until 1 in the morning, 12:30. Yeah, let's get
And
these
on
things
top of
done
that is
early.
Yeah, it's not like people who don't have jobs don't have like, families and stuff and want to spend time with their families, but especially working people who are grinding 40 hours a week, right? Or sometimes a lot of times it ends up being like 50 or 60 hours a week. And maybe you have a couple of hobbies too, and you're still trying to find a little bit of family time and you're always exhausted. Being done at 8 o'clock on a Saturday is fantastic because you get to go home and still spend a little bit of time with your family and still get to play poker. So I think it's a fantastic idea. And at this point, I almost feel like even younger people don't want to be up until like 2 o'clock in the morning playing poker,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And if they could just come in at noon and late reg and then still finish at 8, I'm pretty sure they would love that.
I think so. I mean, for me, these long kind of grindy weekends that are really late, it's the worst things that happen is when you go soft bubble or you bubble the day one and you have to play the next day, you bubble, or you cash, you bag up the last day one, and then you come back and play the next day, and it just completely ruins my schedule for the entire
Yeah.
work week, and I'm just dead all week. And it's like, if we could just be done earlier, I could continue living my normal life without disrupting it so badly, right? And to your point, those folks, I mean, a lot of people, a lot of the younger people, a lot of like, 20s, 30s, we're all being so healthy these days that they wake up early to do stuff
Yeah.
anyways, work out, whatever. And if they don't and they are going out, they would rather go out than be playing poker, right? So, and then to your point, they'll
Yeah,
sleep in and come at noon. So,
I think maybe that stoner like stereotype is a little bit outdated at this point. I don't know. People are just, you know, sleeping until 1 o'clock in the morning, scratching their ass, getting up and like, crawling their way to the tournament. They probably have been doing stuff for a couple hours in the
yeah.
morning
And,
already.
and
So,
even those folks who are like, if the tournaments are good, if this attracts anybody extra, I mean, they're going to come.
yeah,
So, I don't know.
yeah,
I thought it was a great idea. And the amount of positive feedback, I think was honestly a little bit surprising. Like there's really almost nobody in the thread with real negative feedback
mm,
about it. Everyone's just like, yeah, let's start earlier.
yeah.
Let's go, you know. Um
But I also want to say that a lot of the grinders that have been coming up are now, getting into their late 30s, early 40s. So now
yeah.
everyone's becoming,
Yeah.
old.
I mean, yeah, they're all my age or
Mm,
within a
yeah,
couple years for sure. It's definitely ugh.
yeah,
But I think that's a great idea. I would love to see it. I, it's one thing about the Hollywood Park tournaments is they actually start a lot earlier than most other
mm,
tournaments, and I like that because for the same reason they start very early and you start very deep. If I choose to go and max late reg, I still have 40 bigs and it's 1 o'clock. But everyone else started at 10 a.m. That's that's great. I love it.
yeah,
If I want to get there at 10 a.m., I can get there at 10 a.m. and I'm playing super deep or whatever. It's amazing. I think that more places should adopt that. And when the start times for events get posted, it's always kind of like an interesting thing to me to see. I hope they're specifically targeting groups with that. It's like when the bike
yeah,
released their weekend tournament schedule, like they start at 1. I'm like, wow, I assume they're trying to pick up everybody who busted from an earlier event and is driving over or something like that.
yeah,
Because to start so late, it's like, wow. And then if just seeing the different start times, and I honestly I really hate the kind of in between start times, like those
yeah,
noon start times for day ones. I just don't get it. I don't like it. I would really
yeah.
wish they started much earlier. Or it's like, okay, we'll start late and make it a turbo or something. Like noon just means I can't do anything really in the morning, and it's gonna go until 1 in the morning. Like it's
Other than final tabling, I'll just tell you one of my favorite happenings in tournament poker is when I play a morning flight, some sort of day one morning flight, and then you wrap up at like 6 p.m. or something, right? When the other flight's still going on and you
yeah,
cashed and you made day two with a decent stack.
mm,
I'm so happy. I'm like skipping my way through like
yeah,
the late flight, like, hey guys,
exactly.
I hope you make it. And then I'm just like, off about to enjoy my evening, it's
hmm
awesome.
Yeah, just to leave with sometimes when the sun's still out, it's like, what's that?
Yeah,
Doesn't
yeah,
happen. Or for to the point for the casinos, why they might want to do this is to leave when I'm still alert and awake enough. Maybe I'll stay and play cash. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
I probably won't if I just bag, but maybe I would. Or maybe it's so early there's traffic and it's still bad and I have to stay. But yeah. To Julie, I think you vote for these things on their site, on the GPI site. I could be wrong. So I think if you go there and if the
Yeah.
voting's still open, I think you go to the GPI awards site and you can vote there.
Yeah, I remember I did it one year and it was like a form. You have to fill out. You don't have to fill out all of them, but there's like a lot of stuff to kind of like fill out and put in names and stuff and check boxes. But there is like some kind of form that you can find on the GPI site to do it.
Yep. Let's see here. Okay, so to my earlier point, and we are, I'm not going to start the roundup music yet, but just I don't think I am alone in, and I say that because we saw those names at Siquan crushing it over there, right? And we're seeing all these people up at Thunder Valley crushing it. I am not really planning on playing the LAPC for the next couple weeks. This next bounty event and then this next bounty event. I think the next 2 weeks are bounty events, right? I'm actually going, like currently, it's got me looking around, and my plan for the next couple weeks is, so this weekend's the mystery bounty and next weekend's the XXL. I'm planning to skip those multi-days, and I'm going to go to Vegas. So my plan for this weekend is to basically not do much. Maybe I'll play the one day. Next weekend, I'm planning, actually, there's the Venetian is opening its streaming room for the final table of the MSPT main event that is happening that week. And it's a pretty big one. It's a 1 million guarantee. Maybe you want to go up there, man. And I'm planning on going up there for that, skipping the XXL bounty. And then, I'll be back, obviously, for the Commerce Classic. That's like the one marquee event on this whole schedule for me, if you ask me. But then the week after, just for the regular, I may not even go. I might go back. The Win Millions is just having a nice 500K guarantee. I think I think that's the weekend they're doing like a $600 buy-in, 500K guarantee. That seems, I'm not going to skip, I'm not going to take Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off from work to play the LAPC main for 10K. I think I'd rather just go up for the weekend and try and play that. And then the following weekend is the closer, which they used to call the Remington, I think, where they gave away like that 70-pound trophy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they used to give away that huge trophy. It's not called the Remington, so I'm not so sure they're going to be giving away that huge trophy. But also, there's no guarantee on it. So
what? How could you not put a guarantee on it?
Yeah, so if you look, the mini main, which happens before the main event, which is a 2-flight multi-day that ends on Friday, that has no guarantee. It's $500 buy-in. And then after the main event, the closer is they have infinite flights, which makes it even crazier. So I'll look it up while we're doing something else here, but on the schedule here, there's no guarantee written, which tells me I don't think there's a guarantee, just like there's no guarantee for the 10K main event. Literally a main event, no guarantee.
Yeah. They did that last year too. They had a guarantee. They took it away.
Oh, they took it away. I just remember it being incredibly low. So, so the closer is a $300 buy-in event, and there are up to letter H on starting flights, but apparently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 ridiculous. Starting flights isn't enough to put a guarantee on it.
Like, who is making these decisions, man? We're gonna hurt.
If you have 8 starting flights and there's no guarantee,
you're gonna hurt. You're like
anybody
attendance.
Play the first couple flights? Like,
my God. And then when you have like Ty, who's like one of the biggest cheerleaders for LA, like thinking about playing elsewhere in the middle of one of our 2 marquee series in LA, it's very bad.
Yeah, there's another 500K guarantee. It's a 1K at the Win that weekend of the closer. So like,
yeah, it's not even close, man.
It's such a risk. All they would really have to do is put a $250,000 guarantee on this $300 tournament, and I'd probably fire 10 bullets. But since there's no guarantee, it could be a 100K prize pool tournament with 8 flights. Like, I don't know if I want to be doing that. 8 flights.
You're gonna have like 40 people on the weekday flights and stuff.
Yeah, unless like that initial Saturday, Sunday over top of the main event just destroys it, which it could. It's a weekend. If those 2 destroy it, maybe you'll get some momentum. But if they're kind of small, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Yeah, so these are all weekends. Yeah. Oh, it goes into Saturday with the day 2 and Sunday. Like all these weekday flights, like you said, they could just like have nobody in them. Like Monday, a $300 no guarantee event, they could just have, like you said, 30 people in it. Like, I don't know. But even with 30 people per flight, they have 8 flights. Like, you can put a guarantee in that. And I'm not a guarantee person. It's just put any number on it. Like, are you not putting a number on it because you think that it will hurt attendance? Like, you put a 100K guarantee on this mystery bounty, you didn't mind doing that, and that goes to flight I.
Right.
Flight
The
I.
LA,
What the heck?
the WSOPC came for which series last year? It was one
The
of the
one that
middle ones,
replaced
right?
it was May. Yeah, it was the
Oh, it was the May
California.
series.
Yeah, the California
Yeah.
State Championship, I think.
I feel like the LAPC last year, though,
The LAPC was okay last year.
I thought something was happening where I feel like a couple of big pros had come out um, carrying that.
Faraz is talking about coming to this to the LAPC, big pros to the LAPC.
Yeah, I mean, this is last year. I remember that
Right.
kind of happening.
Hmm. I don't
And,
remember big pro names
yeah.
for the LAPC. I remember all the promotion that the circuit was doing.
Or
Obviously,
maybe it was just for the
in
circuit,
the
but
circuit they
anyways,
had Helmuth doing promos.
yeah,
Remember he was in line buying people in, and like
yeah,
they had
yeah.
um, a couple other names. You obviously had like Weinman here, that kind of thing. So
I mean, LAPC is, I mean, it's still such a brand name. Like everyone knows about the Los Angeles Poker Classic, and right now yeah, schedule is not the best.
yeah. So in the chat here we have Lucky Lady is apparently going to run a series in March for about 2 weeks. So Vince, I hope you can get some consultation on the structures if you're going to do something out of the ordinary, because we love playing. Lucky Lady love seeing the more tournaments happening. Just you guys don't run a lot, so I'd love to make sure those are good events. But fingers crossed on that. Um, yeah,
Yeah, and
and
Brandon, I'm pretty sure the WSOP is going to come back here right before the series again and probably do the TOC. I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
I
They
hope.
haven't said anything about the TOC, so I'm maybe a little nervous about that. But I'm almost positive they're back in May for the final event of the
Yeah.
year. Um,
I'm very sure that the World Series though is getting a lot of complaints about putting a TOC in LA, even though I still feel like, to our points,
yeah,
it's not as bad as people were saying it is, but
it's not a
I'm
big
pretty
deal.
sure that they've gotten a lot of feedback to move it back to Vegas.
If they move it anywhere but Vegas or LA, I mean, they're just gonna start another shitstorm
Right, right.
because putting it anywhere but Vegas or LA, especially since they're not announcing it yet, and so if they did announce it anywhere else, it would be February or later. People are gonna scream.
And that WSOPC series, that wasn't even during LAPC. Like it just
It's huge.
shows you how much demand there is out there, and we're not tapping into it, right? LAPC. I mean,
Yeah, the main event was
yeah.
over 2 million. I mean,
And the Commerce should have just taken that high watermark and been able to keep carrying it through, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was massive. That was one of the biggest circuit main events in a long time.
Yeah,
So
it was huge.
yep. So yeah, almost positive that's coming back. I am nervous that the tournament champions is not coming back because they're not talking about it. Really,
Yeah,
if they had just announced that it's coming back this year right away last year and stuck to their guns all year, I don't think it would be a big deal at all. I mean,
right.
in my mind, the reason everyone was outraged and stuck with it was just because it was like, would they gave people a month, like 1 month to change their plans or make plans to come here like that? That's kind of
Yeah,
inexcusable.
yeah.
All right, man. Well, so that's what I am planning to do. Like I said, I'm gonna skip. I think I'm skipping all the mystery bounty flights. Maybe I'll see you for some one days. Are you gonna play the mystery bounty this weekend?
I'm not thrilled about it, but I'm pretty sure I am just because I don't know what else is really going on.
Yeah. If I had made day
Yeah,
2 of the 40-40 and flamed out quick, I might have played the day 1 of mystery bounty that day because I was there, but I didn't.
yeah,
So, and knowing me in mystery bounties, I probably would have bagged like a just under average stack on the first bullet and been committed to going again. But
yeah. I feel like for the tournaments that I'm not like super thrilled about playing, I'm probably gonna be firing less of the day one bullets, so probably just maybe even wait till Saturday. Yeah, I'll probably fire on Friday though.
I
I have
gotcha.
to go ahead and double check the schedule again, but
Yeah. There's some stuff, but yeah, like I said, I might go for the one day on Sunday, and then and yeah, so it will be fun. Mystery bounties are still fun. If that's your thing, definitely go. It
yeah,
is, I believe, this weekend's the big weekend to celebrate Chinese New Year. That's why they're doing the event like this. They tend to put the mystery bounty over Chinese New Year, so that is what's happening there. And then the following week is the Super Bowl, right? So they don't have um actually the following week will be the Super Bowl. I thought they didn't have a multi-day, so maybe that's one of the weeks where the day 2 is kind of weird. Yeah, so the day 2 for the XXL bounty is on Saturday because they don't want to compete with the Super Bowl,
mm,
which I
I
also,
see.
whatever. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. So the way the Venetian's doing it is their final table is going to be on Monday instead of Sunday. So, yep. All right. Well, let's we've talked a lot about what's coming up on the LAPC. Let's make it official.
Yep.
So yeah, as we already have pointed out, this weekend is the Mystery Bounty. So all throughout the week, we have mixed games happening at 11 a.m. And it's $500 buy-in for those tournaments. It is drawn out Mr. Alan Kessler, so they must be fun. We have today's Tuesday, so today was the Omaha 8. Tomorrow, Wednesday, the 29th, will be Triple Stud. Thursday, we'll have Toe. Friday will be Throws, which looks like just heroes in another order. Hero. Oh, with a T. So like horse with triple draw, it looks like. And then Saturday, it is just Mystery Bounty flights with Sunday being the day 2. And Sunday we'll have the 1 day, no guarantee, noon, no limit hold 'em there. So yeah, and then there's satellites every night as well to get into. Let's see. I'm guessing it's going to be the same setup as before, where you'll get a $300 seat plus, I guess, $700 this time if you make it through. So that is what's happening at Commerce this week. Next week begins the XXL Bounty Day Ones, which is a $250,000 guarantee, $800 buy-in. And the Mystery Bounty is a $300 buy-in, so very affordable. Nice one that you could throw a lot of shells into if you needed to. The XXL Bounty, $800 buy-in. The Day 2 bounties are $3,000, I believe. Yep, so that's an interesting one. But remember that Day 2 is on Saturday, so if you want to, that's going to be a tough one for the folks who work because the Day 1s are only Monday through Friday, so.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, moving around town, speaking of Hollywood Park, so this weekend, it looks like their tournaments are pretty standard for them. So over there, they have their TGIF Bounty on Friday, and then we'll be into February. And in February here, they are going to start off the month with a 10K bankroll builder both on Saturday and on Sunday, along with a turbo event on Sunday. And it says here it's a SNL Turbo Series, so that's interesting. I'm not sure what's up with the series. Might have to look into that. I'm not sure why they call it that. I don't see any clue on this sheet. I'll have to do a little research for you. All right. That is the Hollywood Park schedule. Lucky Lady for this week is going to just be kind of normal. They have their regular schedule. I didn't see anything special on the books for them, and the same with the Gardens. I do believe the Gardens told us they were going to be doing a short series, sounded like in April, which sounds to me like they will be announcing a series in between the Winning on the Green and the Circuit, would be what that sounds like to me. We got the info from No Way in the chat that Lucky Lady will be doing a series in March. That looks like it will probably overlap with Winning on the Green. So best of luck to both of those. And then I believe this seems to be about the time of year, right? Like they should be announcing that Winning on the Green schedule sometime mid-February, early February. Doesn't that get going pretty much as soon as LAPC ends typically?
I know that Jeff is definitely wrapping up the schedule, so I'm very sure it'll be coming up pretty shortly.
Okay. Yeah. So that schedule should be coming pretty soon. Keep an eye out. The bike is still running its weekend dailies. And remember, those dailies get you, I don't know if they're calling them points, but they qualify you if you play in enough of them for the free roll. And the free roll will be happening on March 9th. So if you are going over there and playing in those with the brand new chips, make sure you hit the numbers you need for the free roll. I think I've only fired 2 bullets into those for some reason. Oh no, I know why. Because you start with 50,000 chips. I haven't been busting and rebuying. You start so deep. So I think it takes 5 entries to get the minimum number to get into that free roll. So head on over those. They do have a guarantee. So on the Sundays, I did go over there one time for the 20K guarantee, 250 buy-in. Like I said, they start at 1 p.m. And I would keep an eye out for their schedule. I'm curious, since their free roll is on March 9th, I wonder if that is going to be like the kickoff to Winning on the green? Because I would have expected Winning on the green to maybe start a little earlier than that. Let's see, wait, when does this end? Oh, maybe not. No, March. So, yeah, I bet that's when it'll start because the LAPC technically ends on March 2nd. So Sunday, March 2nd is when that ends. So I would expect Winning on the Green to start the next week, which makes sense, March 9th, Sunday, March 9th. So it's probably that weekend is when Winning on the Green starts, if I had to guess. All right. Well, that is all we have for you guys this week. Thank you for joining us. It looks like we had some new folks in the chat, or at least some much more polished icons. I don't remember seeing some of these for Endless Stream. Oh, it's David from HB. Hey, David, what's up? And yeah, all right, there you go. So that's why people are begging David to report to Hendon. But yeah, unfortunately, I know I've asked him before. It's not up to him, so just keep putting the pressure on, right?
Casino policy, they're not going to change it. Interesting. I still don't get it.
Yep, casino policy. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's the same mentality that lets them start their tournaments earlier, but that's also the same mentality that makes them not want to report. Is like, hey, we know our customers are this demographic, and I know them, and they want to start early, and they don't want anyone to know that they won. Maybe it's like that. Yep. Oh, thank you, Julie. Yep. So remember, hey, please hit like, hit subscribe, tune in, and we will keep bringing you all of the local news, all the local results. And if you haven't been watching, check our last couple episodes. We have a couple great guests on. The aforementioned Scott Stewart came on. He's a real fun dude. And, we're going to have some more. Word is we probably get Mr. Edward Pack in here. So we're going to try and get all of the WPT winners on, it looks like. Yeah. So stay tuned, guys.
All right. Well, for everyone who's going to be playing the Congress this weekend, you can come beat me up in Mystery Bounty.
Yeah.
So look forward to playing with you.
Remember, Derek's still running bad. So when you go, really bad. Before you go all in, just look him right in the face and say, just because it's you and go all in, you cannot lose.
Yeah. Just take any marginal spot against me at this point.
Cannot lose. Cannot lose. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Appreciate it. It's been fun. I hopefully will see you guys on Sunday, and